Hey guys, it's Jen. This is Reframing Me, and today we are continuing on our goal setting journey together. Now, if you haven't already listened to parts 1, 2, and 3, pause me and go back and have a listen. In part 3, we finally started the process of working around our life wheel and setting our goals for each section. In the previous episodes, we have talked about the importance of setting SMART goals. So, meaning that they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. We also said that when we are setting goals, we want to be sure to set goals that we can control, because if it's outside of our control, we won't be able to control whether or not we actually achieve it. So be realistic about what you can and cannot be directly responsible for. And because it can be lonely and overwhelming trying to accomplish goals entirely by yourself, one of the best ways to accomplish your goals is to be held accountable by sharing your goal with others. Now, remember, at the base level, you can hold yourself accountable just by writing them down. Hold future you accountable to past you. We don't want to ever let her down. We talked about sharing this journey with your teen, or share with a friend, or even share with me, because I would totally love to hear your goals. And actually, our Facebook group would be the perfect place to share our goals. Post them anonymously, just put them out there into the universe. I am totally serious when I tell you that we have this amazing community of women growing right here under the radar. It feels like I'm sitting here speaking into the void. And I know that when I listen to a podcast, like with my headphones on or alone in my car or wherever, it feels really hard to imagine that other people are out there listening to the same thing that I am. And here you're all setting goals at the same time, which is actually super cool, right? But anyway, you're out there, I promise. In fact, we jumped up in the rankings just today. This morning, I got it in Canada. So yay, Canada. Hello to my Canadian friends. Thank you for listening and for sharing the show with your friends. We have listeners in Ontario and Alberta, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. How cool is that? What, right? What a fun name. Nova Scotia, so many Canadian friends. And last week, we jumped up into the UK rankings for the very first time. And of course, our Australian listeners are always loyal, and here all over the US. Oh, and Germany. Well, I have yet to crack into the rankings in Germany. I mean, I assume my lack of speaking German is a bit of an obstacle where that's concerned, but that does not mean that I don't see and appreciate my loyal friends in Germany. Anyway, I digress to emphasize to you all that we are here. And if you remember right, from the very start last year, I told you that one of my motivations, well, one of my many motivations for doing the podcast was because I kind of felt alone in doing this whole parenting teens thing. It is a totally legit thing that I hear of so often from people. Our friendships change. Our friendships may even disappear as we start to feel less and less connected to some of the women who we had become connected to through our kids. And yet, as our kids become teens, things change. It happens, we feel more closed off and more alone. So, I know that I am not alone in working on my social relationships. And today, I want you to take a look at that area of your life wheel. I've already asked you to reflect on it a bit when I asked you, are you happy with your social status? Are your friends supportive? Do you spend enough time with them? Do you feel loved and supported by them? Do you show your love towards them? So you have some bit of a jumping off point. Now, we said last time that we are using what's called a goal ladder. Like, you write your main goal at the top rung and you work through the rest of the ladder steps as you write the smaller objectives that you need to accomplish in order to reach your main goal. And the bottom rung is like your right now action item. Okay, so If you are hoping to date or you are dating, this would probably be where you would include that component. Of course, married or partnered couples can keep the family goals section for just whole family and move the couple relationship here, whatever your little heart's desire. This is your wheel and your journey. So, whether with friends or with a partner, you may set the goal to communicate openly and honestly. I know that is one that I have with both my husband and my close friends. Another one that I have had with my husband for quite some time, and I have expanded into my close friendships, is leaving behind the ideas of perfection and instead focusing on the need for compassion in my relationships. And for me, that means a smaller objective of letting go of any resentments or any petty troubles, and instead working towards kindness and compassion. Now, at the daily action level, this can mean not letting something silly or petty annoy me, like not taking something someone does or doesn't do personally. Forgiveness. Because on the daily action level, a lot of forgiveness is really forgiving things that the people in your relationships don't even realize that they've done, or you've been bothered by, or that there is even something that requires forgiveness, right? And that's working towards the goal of having compassion in my relationships, just letting shit go. I have the goal of not taking my relationships, whether they're with any of my family members or my husband or my friends, but not taking my relationships for granted and fostering them. Now, to make that smart, I've needed to have specific objectives like learning my husband's love language and then making quality time to spend together because that's his love language. So that may mean setting aside a certain time of the day or an evening on the weekend or whatever, just to spend time together. So recently, now that football is over and spending time together watching TV isn't organic for us anymore, I've made the action item of finding TV series that we can watch together, like limited series. So something that is more substantial than a movie, but not like a full blown series because that is just too much of a commitment. So not only is the length of the series a challenge, but finding something that we both like content wise is nearly impossible. But last week, I had that as a to do action. And so we watched American Nightmare on Netflix, which was perfect. So I again have the action item of finding something similar for us to watch. Luckily, he's out of town and then it's the Super Bowl. So I have until next weekend to figure it out. So hit me up with your suggestions. Now, also part of fostering my relationships is, of course, fostering my friendships. Daily, I have the action item of keeping in contact with, or maybe even have the action item of reaching out to those that I haven't talked to in a while, but reaching out to my friends through text. A bit higher up the ladder is getting together with them. And you would be proud of me because I actually did that not once, but twice in January. Woohoo! Look at me. I'm trying. I'm just very scheduled and I'm busy and I like my downtime. It's not like I don't want to see them, it's just circumstantial. But anyway, okay, another one for many of us is probably expanding our social circles or our social lives. I know I think about how much more time I will have once the kids are grown. And I realize that I don't want to find myself out there friendless. So, yes, part of that is nurturing the friendships that I do have. And part of that is expanding my social circles, which I will admit I am not a fan of one bit, like, not at all. Meeting new people and making new friends, y'all, I am one of those extrovert introverts, and that is not my jam. So, for someone like me, the action steps for that are baby steps, like teeny tiny baby steps. Like my first action item is considering it. Like, seriously, that is it. Consider this. I happened to get an email from someone from my national sorority, and it was like, did you know that there are 226 Tried Out alum within Wilmington addresses? No, I did not know that. I know two, and then me, so three. So apparently she lives here now and she wants to organize alum events. Now, in the past, I would have skipped over that email so fast. But my action item is to consider opportunities like that. And so I actually thought, well, that would be fun. Now, I have to admit that the first thing is next week, and I will not be doing that. But right now, I am considering which was my action item. So maybe up the ladder just a bit, I will. So now it's your turn. Look at your social relationships and start setting your SMART goals. Use the goal ladder, to see what you can start doing today to work towards them, even if it's just tiny baby steps like me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you're finding this helpful. If you are, please share it with others who might also enjoy this journey. Reach out to me, share your thoughts and your journeys. I'd love to hear what goals you are setting for yourself. Email me, jen@reframing-me.com. Reach out on socials, on TikTok and Instagram, it's Reframing Me. And on Facebook, it's Reframing Me, and join the Facebook group, Reframing Me, the podcast community. Remember, every day is a fresh opportunity to create the life we love. Until next time, be well and communicate.